What are the challenges or issues the government need to grapple with when the new government takes office in the next couple of weeks?
The new government has to formulate a comprehensive national policy on urban development and governance. Unfortunately, that kind of a national consensus and policy hasn't been established. We now have nearly 40% of our population living in urban areas. We have more than 8,000 urban habitations, less than half of which are even considered formally as municipalities. Nearly 2/3 of new jobs are being created in urban areas, and we are noticing a huge migration of young people from rural areas to urban areas. In fact, many large villages of 5 to 10,000 population, though continue to be called villages in states like Bihar and UP, are actually urban habitations. And in the absence of a comprehensive national policy on urban development, the role of cities in future socio-economic development of the country, we are at a loss. This requires serious effort at two levels. Firstly, the national planning process has to be strengthened to focus on urban realities more comprehensively. It cannot be a mere extension of what previous 5-year plans have done in rural development areas. You cannot extend the same programs or same thinking to urban areas. In urban areas, the issue of infrastructure, of water, sanitation, transportation, housing is critical. In countries like ours, a large number of people in urban areas will continue to have a livelihood arising out of informal occupations. These are vendors, rickshaw pullers, rag pickers, people who are self-employed or they are working in small and medium-sized economic enterprises. Unless we design our cities to create an opportunity for such informal sector workers to prosper, in fact to be able to carry out their livelihood meaningfully, we will not be able to harvest the potential that exists in the country. This is also going to seriously affect the youth population, and the so-called demographic dividend is likely to become a demographic nightmare. In fact, in many places it has already become. And a lot of crime and violence against women in cities is a direct reflection of lack of meaningful livelihood for young people migrating in large numbers to urban centers. At the national level, therefore, we need a clear and strong focus on urban development and urban governance. This will imply three things. Firstly, there should be a single nodal ministry focusing on this. The current system of having two ministries is totally pointless. Secondly, in whatever form the new planning commission is structured, it must have a member exclusively focused on urban development and governance. Thirdly, there should be a significant investment in making municipalities strong in terms of their institutional and human development. We have neglected small and medium towns, and that is precisely why large metros are overcrowded, because people leave a village in Kalahandi and migrate straight to Delhi, as opposed to coming to those cities which are closer home and are smaller in size. So, small and medium towns have been neglected under JNNURM completely. JNNURM focused on infrastructure without relating it to livelihood questions. And there has been a mindset which thinks that urban planning needs to be carried out in the drawing room, away from the reality of the cities. Cities like Rohtak or Bareilly or Moradabad are potentially engines of socio-economic growth in the country, but there is no consideration, no policy and no investment going into these cities at all.
How do you see next about 5 to 10 years, the way urbanization is rapidly spreading across the country? How do you see the character of the small towns changing over the next 5 to 10 years?
I think the small towns are modernizing in terms of the attitudes of people. The young people, whether they are in small towns or metros, are aspiring identically. The difficulty is that the kind of infrastructure that is needed, educational infrastructure. Why should everybody in the country want to come to Delhi to attend either St. Stephen's or LSR? Why is it this? Why should people come 500 kilometers to get treatment in All India Institute of Medical Sciences? This is a reflection of highly centralized and planning which has privileged large metros over small and medium towns. The small and medium towns have the potential to expand. You can plan them better because if you pay attention at this stage, you can look after their infrastructure better. They are potentially also sources of innovation in economic development because they can become catchment areas for a new generation of entrepreneurs. The cost of entrepreneurship in Delhi is prohibitively high in NCR as compared to cost of entrepreneurship in places like Gwalior. But in the absence of a comprehensive national policy and planning, places like Gwalior get neglected. I would think that the new government and especially the new Prime Minister must convene a process of building national consensus among state governments and leaders of state governments to pay greater attention to urban issues and urban development. Places like Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and to some extent Kerala have advanced in this. But if you look at UP, Bihar, even Punjab for that matter, hasn't paid enough attention
To the smaller towns.
to strengthening the institutions of urban governance, municipalities. There is no cadre. People trained as block development officers in rural areas are placed as municipal officers in small and medium towns. They have no capacity to understand the requirements of a city and therefore they extend their knowledge based on what they have done in rural areas.
My last question will be in terms of technology. We call it mobile phones or the internet. We have, these are available all over the smaller town itself. But in terms of basic infrastructure like electricity, roads, they're not there. So for the new government, what is the 3-4 key areas where we need to invest more? Because particularly at a time when technologically we are united as a country, we talk internet or we talk of telephone, mobile phones.
I think there are 3 integrated areas for attention. One is energy. And in energy, we need to abolish all the different ministries and keep one Ministry of Energy, which includes coal, nuclear, non-conventional, hydel, all this, so that you can comprehensively plan energy development and energy utilization. There is a lot of wastage of energy going on because of lack of attention in an integrated fashion. The second is transportation. Now, transportation will require a comprehensive look. We should integrate railways, surface roads, aviation, and we should provide an integrated approach to building of infrastructure related to transportation. This investment has to be made through a enabling public policy. Otherwise, we build half a road, then we build half a railway track, but it is not integrated, and you can't say that the state border is over now, some other state will take responsibility. And the third is in the area of housing. For a substantial proportion of our people living in cities, their house is also their source of livelihood. For informal sector workers, for self-employed, for professionals, we don't have the capacity to create housing stock for small, lower middle class people. And the reason is that we have a chaotic set of rules governing urban land. Urban land is controlled by national governments, by defense, by railways, by ports, by municipalities, by state governments, all kinds. It is unpardonable to continue this process, and I think a comprehensive approach to urban land, making it accessible and making that land inexpensively available in a developed form so that people can build their own houses. Government doesn't need to build houses for everybody, including the poor. Poor can build their own houses, provided you create security of land tenure and provided you earmark areas in which people can access basic infrastructure, water and sanitation and roads. Otherwise, why would anybody invest money in building a housing stock? So I would say housing, transportation and energy are three areas where national policy and national consensus in a aggressive manner needs to be established.
Ultimately, the towns and cities will be the engines of growth, because our economic growth will be entirely depends on this town. How do you see suppose 20 to 30 years India will be more urbanized? Because the villages.
I think India will be substantially more urbanized if we convert those 8,500 habitations into urban centers. Currently, we continue to classify them as rural villages. Even if you take agriculture, the agriculture produce and inputs for agriculture come from nearby towns. Where those towns are well planned and developed properly with infrastructure and with backward forward linkages, those towns can become engines of growth even for agriculture. So I feel that not only there will be a substantial shift of population to urban areas, but also the urban centers can boost national economy, not just urban economy, but national economy. Because how else agriculture will develop unless you have urban settlements or towns where inputs and outputs are taken care of from agriculture, which will require obviously better development of those small and medium-sized towns. I think we should stop saying India is a rural country and bulk of its population lives in villages. In 30 years' time, that will also not be true, because more and more people will move to urban centers. And there is a positive trend in that, provided we can develop urban centers and make their institutions more robust.
Thank you. Thank you.